Welcome to the Refine and Shine, the podcast dedicated to mastering the art of continuous improvement and optimizing every aspect of your life. I'm Angelina Rivera, your host, and together we'll uncover the secrets to refining our lives, our habits, and our processes to unlock our inner brilliance. Join us on Refine and Shine, where we'll delve deep into achieving more in life without the burnout and without all the stress. This podcast is your platform for a more fulfilling life through continuous improvement and personal growth. In each episode, I and a diverse array of guests discuss practical strategies for up-leveling every aspect of your life. From developing good habits and organizing your space to refining your mindset and personal goals, we're going to explore it all. Our guests share personal stories about the systems they've developed or systems they've used and the tweaks they've made in their lives when refinement was needed, allowing them to truly shine. Listen to Refine and Shine to learn how you can implement continuous improvement techniques in your daily routine, develop and maintain healthy habits that lead to success and satisfaction, organize your life to reduce the stress and increase your productivity, foster a growth mindset that propels you to new heights. My mission is to inspire you to take bold action, make positive changes, and become the best version of yourself. Whether you're aiming to elevate your career, nurture meaningful relationships, or enhance your overall well-being, Refine and Shine is your guiding light. With over 25 years of experience in continuous improvement, I help businesses streamline their processes, establish efficient work areas, and implement standard work protocols. I have trained over 600 individuals and teams in process improvement, optimizing workflows, and enhancing overall operational efficiency. Tune in every week as we embark on an enlightening journey, exploring paths to refinement and illuminating the way to shine in every area of our lives. Subscribe now and join us on this journey to polish your life and let your best self shine through. Thank you for joining us on Refine and Shine. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Refine and Shine podcast. I'm super excited because I love when I can have people that are local on my podcast. And I met my guest, Debra. I met her last year when I did an event, and I'm telling you all the time, people, put yourself into events, go attend events because you need to meet people because you never know what type of impact they'll have and just building those relationships. And so I'm super excited. I met Debra last year when we did a vision board event, and she is the owner, alongside with her husband, who's a vet, of Fit Fam HD Gym in Apple Valley. She's a certified trainer and an ISSA sports nutrition coach. Her goal and her family's goal is to get people healthy and fit, one family at a time. And I just love that. And so I think it's so important. And I know that running a business probably with your husband is hard. And so maybe I'll ask you a few questions about that. But how did you even think to start a gym? Or how did you tell me a little bit about where your fitness journey started?
Okay. So I was a martial arts instructor first. My husband deployed to Iraq, and I wanted to keep my kids busy. And so I enrolled them into the local Shotokan karate class. I ended up just sitting there for 6 months while they did their classes. And one of the parents goes, "Debra, you're just sitting here. You might as well just join." I'm all, "No, thanks." But I've always loved martial arts. So I ended up joining, and I fell head over heels. In love with martial arts. I grew up in a martial arts family, in an athletic family. And so we just took it from there. My dad ended up joining. My kids were in it. We ended up becoming very involved. I ended up being a second degree Shotokan style karate practitioner and instructor. And so that was my first taste of fitness as an adult. I was on the track team in school, so that was my forte, was running. But yeah, that changed my life. Martial arts changed my life. And from there came into the fitness, the boot camp style fitness, and love that. And one day I thought, well, I always think there's got to be more. And when I feel like I've gotten to a point, I'm like, okay, now it's time to get back, right?
Mhm.
So I ended up getting certified and learning how to teach a boot camp style class. It is different from martial arts, even though it's a group, still both sides. It was very different. So then I entered that arena and I've stayed ever since. I never thought I would open a gym. That was not a goal. We
Mhm.
just moved with the punches. I trained under a local trainer, trained alongside her, trained at another gym. COVID happened, shut down, and I trained out of my garage and I trained people during the shutdown in parking lots in Apple Valley. And like you would see me with like 16 people at the Jess Ranch movie theater. And
Oh,
I would
yeah, I
just
I would see you. I just didn't know that was you.
funny. And I remember just thinking, oh my gosh, how is this gonna work? But people kept showing up and I thought, well, okay. And then everything opened back up and I trained out of my garage, didn't want to train in another gym. I partnered back up with my old dojo. And now the space I'm in, honestly, is the first time I've been on my own and not sharing a space, not being under someone, which is fine. All of that is all experience and I loved it. But we're going into our second year of being on our own. It's really scary, but yeah, we're all in now.
I think that that's so amazing. And do you do the gym full time? Does your husband also do the gym with you full time?
He helps now. He is our maintenance guy. He's our
Okay.
maintenance guy on the machines. He runs the background, should say, where I
Mhm.
train probably 90% of the classes there. I have Vanessa who does the kickboxing hit. We have our youth program. I train the hybrid youth program, and then we have a youth boxing program, which Coach Anthony trains. And we just got a new trainer with Kaylee, and she trains Wednesday, and now our new Friday afternoon class. So there's four of us there, but um, I train the majority of the classes.
Think that that's so awesome. And I like that you also said that there's youth there because a lot of
Yes.
times when people, and I guess that that helps tie in with the name, right? Fit family,
Yeah.
fit fam.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about you, it's also about the whole family. And so
Yeah.
I love that you have the youth there as well so that, because a lot of times people here, they have the excuse, and I know I had it for years, is that I can't go, like I wanted to go to the gym, but my kids had to be 13 before they could go, or just
Yeah.
different things,
Mm,
but they didn't have a class for them. And so it's like you're trying to do your machine and you're trying to help them do their machine. And then it just gets,
yeah.
sometimes it gets overwhelmed. And I know that when I used to go to the gym all the time, I went to get away from everything. I will be honest because it was the time when I was really faithful to the gym. It was some of the hardest things in my life that I was going through with my family and
Mm,
my husband with his health issues. And so I would go to the gym just because I didn't want to sit in front of a TV and watch TV and eat. I
yeah.
just needed to move my body, and I would just go to the gym on Sundays and watch all the football games, and walk on the
Mhm.
treadmill and do all these different things.
Yeah, no, no, seriously. And the fit family, that part comes from how I was raised. My parents were very involved with my fitness, with my sisters, and they were actually very sensitive to the siblings that didn't want to work out, that didn't want to be on a, track team or something, volleyball team. They're like, okay. And they never forced us. We just knew, hey, we got to do something. And so the way I train the youth, even in martial arts, the way I talk to them may seem hard, but it's the way my dad, he was my track coach next to my track coach.
Hmm.
At 80 or 75, however old this guy was, he was an immigrant and he could still outswim the teenagers. He could
Oh, wow.
still He when he trained me, I was a sprinter, so I'd just sprint and he would catch me. It's crazy. He was um our biggest fitness influence and my mom was the polar opposite. She was amazing. She was our biggest cheerleader, but she was morbidly obese. She became morbidly obese here. you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's another story, but it's hard when she loved the island. I wasn't born and raised here. I was born and raised in Hawaii. And when she came here, she was very sad. So that being said, it just took a toll on her. And you know, she had my dad and my mom, and that's the I guess the reason why I push the way I push. I want to live as long as this guy lived, and
Mm-hmm.
I and to outlive my mom. She should be alive. It
Yes.
was just everything else that lifestyle choices. But
Mm-hmm.
to the day she passed, she was literally still so strong spirited, you know? So it's never a put down when I say because she was morbidly obese. I'm grateful if I have this much of her inner strength, I should say, or her
Mm-hmm.
feisty spirit. But yeah, so that's why instead of just having the adults, I want the kids, you know. If the kids can see their parents moving, the parents can see their kids moving and watch them grow and get stronger. It just saves, I don't know, to me, fitness and health saves them from this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, from sitting there and not being outside. So, long
No, I
story.
think no. I think that's so important. And what you shared a couple of things that I would you said you so how many because Hawaiian they usually have big families. Did you come
Mhm.
from a large family?
Yes, we have 6 girls, 2 boys.
Oh yeah, big family. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that what's so important is that your parents met, your no matter what, like you said, your father didn't push if people didn't want to exercise or get, be sports and
Mhm.
everything like that. But no matter what, it was your family dynamic and that your family supported you guys. Your mom was your cheerleader. Your dad was the one that was your pusher. And I think that's so important to have those people, kind of people like that in your lives because I don't want and I feel like that our kids, we should have, or even in adults, we all should have those type of people. Somebody who's going to push you to be the best person
Mhm.
that you can be. And then there's somebody who's going to cheerlead, and that's important
Mhm.
too. And there's different people that we have, and they play the different roles. And I think that that's so important. When you
Mhm.
said you ran, you used to do sprinting, or did you used to do marathons too, or just like short
Oh,
distance?
I was on the high school track team.
Okay.
I was a short distance runner. I was the sprinter. They tried to teach me to be a long distance runner. I don't know how sports are done today, but when I was on the track team, each school had to have one person participate in every single thing. If there was one person couldn't make it for the long jump, well, our whole school would get disqualified. We had to
Oh,
have someone doing each event. And so the long distance
wow.
got hurt and they asked me to do, I was like, okay. So it's very different. Sprints, you just go from 0 to 100 and you don't do it for long. It's like 100-meter dash, you know, 200-meter dash. It's like very short. And it was like 4x4 was the longer runs. I was like, and I thought I was gonna cry. But
Well,
now I like longer distance runs, believe it or
me
not.
too. Me too.
Mhm.
I think that what it's important is that you are also playing, you want to make sure that you're inspiring your kids and your children. And how many children do you have?
I have 5.
Oh, wow, you have 5 children. Wow. You look fantastic.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I have to keep in shape just in case these kids get crazy.
And so do your kids actively participate in the gym as well? Are they adults? I'm not sure.
Oh, they were raised in martial arts and in the gym. The oldest little Bobby, he lives in Washington State. He's married, has my 2 grandbabies. He grew up playing football and basketball. Then comes to Michaela. She was basketball at VBC and very active to the point where I actually slowed her down because she was working out way too much.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
working out 23 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they kind of felt way too much in love. And there's a balance there because I felt like she was a little too crazy. But yeah, she was VBC basketball. She's she's a first degree black belt. Then there's Caleb. He played basketball. He's a first degree black belt. Micah, he did um basketball and he's a second degree black belt. And then there's Sosi, who is 13. She was our surprise child. Um, she's played various sports at Sitting Bull, but she works out with me and she also does jujitsu. She's in her almost to her fourth year in jujitsu.
I think that that's so important that all of your children have, because you guys have role modeled the way that you have
Mhm.
actually showed them and then inspired them, and that they have all received different certifications, like, the black belt in karate, the belts, I don't really know how they're all called, but that they've
Yeah.
achieved these different levels and that they, continued to just follow in your footsteps and be athletic. I think that that's so important. Is your husband pretty athletic as well?
Oh yeah. He works out sometimes harder and longer than I do. Um, and he used to tell me, we got three boys, two girls. And he goes, I need to stay in shape just in case these boys want to step to me. Like, okay. Not that they ever would, but you know, uh,
Yeah.
and it's a stress reliever, truly, it's just a stress reliever.
Yes. When I actually got back into running, and I told you that part of that was, I started going to the gym just because my husband's mental health was really hard, and I had nothing to escape. And so I started walking
Yeah.
with the dogs first, walking a dog, and then doing laps, around the neighborhood. And then I was like, I'm gonna go to the gym. And I did CrossFit for a little bit, but,
Mhm.
I just started running, and I would start
Yeah.
running marathons and half marathons and all these other things. And it was to relieve the stress that I was going through. And it was also just to meet some friends, make friends. And
Yeah.
it was really, really fun. And I actually kind of miss that. I miss doing that. Just and so I have a goal this year. I had a lot of health issues, and I had stopped running as much, but I actually stopped walking for myself too. When I used to work at the production plant for the Marine Corps, I used to walk every morning. I'd walk
Mm.
and watch the sunrise, and just, and I was like, now that I'm in
Yeah.
a different role, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I walk. So every day I've been doing like 10,000 steps at least, walking the
That's
neighborhood,
awesome.
but cannot wait to check out your gym one day soon.
I'm telling you, Angelina, you need to come.
Yeah. Well, I see some of your pictures and your gym looks pretty intense.
No, okay, I keep hearing that, and I'm like, guys, I've got like almost 70-year-olds there, and they're great. We just, you can do anything, any workout that we post up, you can do it, Angelina. It's just taking you from day one, you know, little steps, and I'm telling you, you can do it. You can.
What makes your gym more unique compared to other fitness centers in the area?
I think because we're aiming for what we want, and that's to hit families. Um, I'm I don't market myself as a CrossFit gym. I'm not a CrossFit gym. Not necessarily a boot camp, and I like boot camp style. I really had the hardest time naming what kind of style we were until somebody said, "You're a hybrid." I was like, "I am," of cross training and boot camp style training. I don't see I don't know all the gyms up here. As long as I stay my lane and
Yeah.
do stay on my purpose of getting each person, as healthy as possible, as much movement in their life, eating right, one family at a time, I'm fine. All my workouts, you'll see the adult version. Now I have my youth that are in high school, now they don't do the youth workouts. They work out with the adults. So there's a progression there. I don't want the youth just to stay the youth. When they get to 16 and I see a maturity, I see, okay, you guys have been with me for 2, 3 years. You guys know how to act. Okay, you're invited to the adult class. And I've only invited 3 youth to the adult classes. And yeah, I, I want to be that gym where the family feels comfortable, the family feels welcome. And also, we're partnered up with a nonprofit, a food bank, that serves the whole high desert, and a lot of churches and organizations up here. And they provide our snack bars and our little drinks for my youth program. So my youth program, after we train them, they get a snack bar, they get a juice box or whatever drinks we get from them. And that's a thing. We try to get them involved with the community versus just, hi, check into your workout, check out. I'll ask them, hey, can somebody, you guys, let's get a group together to volunteer at High Desert Second Chance Food Bank, for like 2 hours and stuff as a thank you, because they're giving us free bars, free drinks.
I
I
think
think
that's
that's
so
what
important.
sets us apart, is that we are hand in hand with a nonprofit that provides food and other services to the community, because that's what I want. I want my gym to be part of the community, not just a gym, if that makes
No,
sense.
no, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that you hit on a couple of things that makes yourself unique is that one, it's family oriented. And you said that you have a line of progression. And so that you're not just, people are not stuck when they're like, you move them up into different progressions. And as
Mhm.
you see that they can meet those, you also tied in that you have nutrition, you tie in the nutrition with them. So do you also teach, not just you have the workouts, you also teach them how to do like eat right and things like that as well?
Yes, I try to have, my people want challenges. I will do maybe 2 a year. And this year I wanted to do something different. I just wanted to create a Facebook group where they could come in and get some accountability tips, doable tips, um, and just some nutrition advice that's in my niche. You know, you want to lose weight, got you, but there is a process. How's about we just talk about food versus just losing weight?
Mhm.
Um, because mainly it's really that, right? If it was
Right.
all fitness, everybody would be fit,
Hmm.
right? It's the nutrition that's the hardest part. So it's taking them to do doable steps at a time. Um, I've had a couple clients lose a ton of weight with me and too fast. And it was so fast that they gained it back, and it just messes up your metabolism when you go through it super quick. And right now we're in this weird, time period where now we have fast drugs to make you lose weight. There's a purpose for them, but if it's only just to lose weight, we're missing the point. We're not
Hmm.
learning anything. And
Right.
now we're losing muscle. And then once we get off the drug, we're going to gain fat before we gain muscle. And so that's the hard part. I understand the frustration of how slow the process is, but the process, when it's slow and steady, it's sustainable. So yeah, I give that for this year. I wanted to do something different versus just challenges.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Okay, be honest. How many times have you sat down to get something done only to find yourself scrolling, checking emails, or getting lost in distractions? Yeah, we've all been there. And those distractions, they're not just stealing time, they're keeping you stuck. But here's the good news. I got a free webinar that's going to help you mastering disruptive distractions, master your productivity, and it's happening on March 18th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm sharing the exact strategies you need to take back control of your focus and finally start making real progress. Don't let distractions run your day. Register now at www.angelinarivera.com/links, and let's get back on track together. If you missed that link, check out the show notes with all the details.
I think that that's important. But what you said is that, the progression, it's better to lose the weight slowly.
Mhm.
And people got to remember too, is that they didn't gain the weight overnight either.
Yeah.
And so they're not
Yeah.
going to be able to lose it overnight. And I had a friend who just told me this. They saw a poster or something like that they saw. And what you eat in private shows up in public. And so
Mm,
you got to take care of what you're eating, your body. And that's something that I really, have been looking at is what am I filling my body with? And so I've changed a few things and just because I
mm.
felt blah. And when you feel
Yeah.
blah, you're going to stay in that blah mood and that blah. And I'm like, nope, got to do this. And I'm doing, these goals. And I think it's so important. But a big part of it is to make sure that I'm also eating right and putting
Yeah.
like, I'm doing juices and smoothies in the morning. And it's like totally different than reaching
Nice.
for my coffee.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just got over being sick, Angelina, and right before the New Year's, and I couldn't even drink coffee. It made me want to throw up. It was weird. It was almost like having COVID, but I could smell, I could taste, it was just the worst flu I've ever had in my life. And I have to say, my body felt good getting off of coffee for a few days. That finally having that one cup was like, ah, yum. Okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
We're not gonna hack it all out, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
I think I like that your gym, and one of the things about your gym too is that it's not just like you're going to go in and just run on the treadmill, or you have to figure things out. You have programs and
Mm.
plans for them, right?
Mhm. Yes, we have a bodybuilding program. We have a hybrid training program. And hybrid meaning like there's events that are coming up this year. We've done these hybrid events. You've heard of it, High Rocks. I haven't done one yet, but I'm hoping to do one this year. But there's a similar one called the Decas, and it's the Spartan Decas. And our gym has done them the last 3 years, and that's a hybrid event. It's everything encompassing. There's running, there's step ups, there's, all this stuff. And we literally are just like wanting to get more involved in those kind of events and eventually, God willing, bring them up here.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think
But
I like that.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you, as a business owner and a coach, how do you prioritize your self-care and balance and maintain balance?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, I feel like very old school still, but my husband says it's okay. Um, I get a massage every 4 weeks. I I sit there and I have one day a week that I don't start at 5 a.m. and everything slows down. Um, my self-care, I work out with my husband. Um, Maybe not doing the same workout, but he's such a motivator for me because he doesn't care about how he feels. It doesn't matter if he feels death on death's door. He'll get up and he'll work out. He'll do something, which I'm like, I'm on death's door, buddy. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna sit here for a minute. I don't want to do that. You know, um, I work out with him and at a slower pace. I do CrossFit at um, at another gym. I've been there for 5 years, and it's my time. When I go there, I'm not in charge. I'm just there to move, and I barely go there because I like my workouts, my bodybuilding track that we trained at our gym. I love that because it's just moving muscle, you know.
Hmm.
And I'm sorry, I didn't even finish what I was saying. Uh, the different programs, it's bodybuilding, hybrid, there's endurance days, and there's workout of the days. So they're all different every single day. And the bodybuilding is built up each week upon each other. So it isn't one day I'll say, Angelina, I just decided to have a max deadlift day. And you haven't done deadlifts in like 2 years? Cool. Let's do it. I won't ever do that. So today was week 11 of our bodybuilding track for bench presses. So it's our 1 rep max today, but it's been 11 weeks building up to this.
Hmm.
So it's more safe. That's why I always say I've been hearing, Deborah, it looks intense. It looks crazy at your gym. Mm-mm. You got to come on a bodybuilding day, man. You'll see even guys sitting there going and taking it slow because it goes up the reps, up, down until we get to your 1 rep max. And it's weeks of progression. So we try to do as safe as possible. But my self-care is working out with my husband, getting a massage every 4 weeks, a slow morning. I'm really trying to have time in the morning to just sit and pray, and just get my mind right. Because you know how it is as adults, we
Mhm,
jump right into our day, and
mhm,
I'm guilty of it, where I just feel I can feel the burnout coming.
mhm.
So I try to slow it down in the morning.
Well, I think what you said, I mean, all the things that you said was really good. And like the massages is so important. I actually never used to get a massage. I never even thought about getting a massage. And I went to a retreat and part of that package was a massage. And I was like, oh, what am I missing out? And it's
Oh,
covered with my
man.
flexible spending account, I found out. So I'm like, I'm going to start booking these things
I
because your
know.
body needs that. And I think that that's
Mhm.
so important. And I also choose one day where I sleep in. Instead
Yes.
of getting up 4:30, I sleep in one day and I'm like, this is the day I sleep in. Do not, my family
Mhm.
knows that's my day. And I think that's so
Yeah.
important. And then that morning prayer is important as well too. And so I think that all of that's, helps balance and that you're spending that one-on-one time with your husband, which is so important in our, relationships. And I like that you said that you also just go work out at another place so that way you're not bothered. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you're always feeling, if you always feel like you're at work, then you're going to get that burnout because your brain's
Yeah.
not, you're overthinking and we need to slow down. I
Mhm.
read in a book the other day is where when you start your day, you don't think about your business when you're in the shower. And I know that as
Mm.
entrepreneurs, sometimes that's hard, but you take your
Mm.
shower to
Mhm.
take your shower because
Yeah.
then our
No, that's
brain
a
is
good one.
constantly thinking, yeah. And when you're driving to work, you're not thinking about work. Your workday starts when you are at work. For me, I work right now, I've been working a lot from home. So it's like, I feel like, so I was like, that's part of the reason I was feeling that burnout. I'm like, I need to start getting out. I walk outside. My husband's like, there's a
Mhm.
treadmill right here. And like, we have like a little gym at home. And I'm like, mm-mm, I need outside and I'm
Yeah.
not taking a dog. I just need to be, and I'm not taking headphones. I just want to just walk like, and just be in
Yeah.
my just peaceful moment. And, so I think that's
Oh
important.
gosh. That is
Yeah.
so good. My husband and I started walking, no headphones. I mean, I did take my cell phone, but
Hmm.
I when we first started doing that together, I felt so anxious. Like I was all, okay, what do we have to how long do we have to walk? And he's like, never, we're fine. My gosh. Let's just go like for a mile or two. And it took me a bit to ease into it. Like I felt like I had to do more. I had to do something else after this. And it's so silly because a walk is so freeing.
Hmm.
Um, because you can do it as fast as you want, as slow as you want. And once you can relax in it, like for me, I was like, gosh, I just want to walk everywhere.
Yeah.
It just is so relaxing, you know? But yeah, that's awesome.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you is if you could invite one celebrity, one icon celebrity, somebody that you've looked up to your gym, who would it be and
Oh my
why?
gosh. Oh, ooh, one celebrity. Oh gosh, Angelina, man, that's a rough one. Jason Momoa. That's all
Okay.
that kept coming to my head. And it isn't because I think he's fine. I would want him to come because he has the same mindset of honoring his roots as I do. My logo is my dad's tattoo. And it was hand drawn by my oldest daughter. So all the things in my gym is very personable and it's honoring to where my background is. And to me, I just love when he talks about the island mentality, all of that. I can connect to that. And so it would just be the celebrity hype, really buff guy version, hopefully of just me and my family, we
Yeah,
would mesh well. Yeah, so Jason Momoa, I would, and because it would just be like having my brother home, you know?
I love
And
that.
stuff. Yeah.
What I love about you is that you are so true to your roots and you don't forget where you came from
Mm-mm.
and that you honor that. And then and I really, I mean, that I just love that what you said is that your daughter drew the logo, or she drew
Mhm.
your dad's tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it. That was it. She wanted to honor my dad, my family, um, her papa, and that became our logo because that's everything I know about fitness really that I didn't learn from a book or a video or from other people was really it started with my parents,
Mhm.
and just having um I would say the family background because your roots, when they're strong like that, it's like it's like having that moral compass,
Mhm.
and I'm not saying you have to have this huge ethnic background to have a moral compass. No, but mine's comes from just the island uh, background that I was raised in, and you respect your elders. You do this. You are humble with your stuff. Um, everybody's auntie, uncle, everybody's family,
Mhm.
and that's how we try to greet everyone that comes into our gym because that's how it is in Hawaii. That's how it is in Samoa. Everybody's tend to be treated as just family, even if they're a stranger.
I love that. I love that. Um, One of the things I wanted to ask you is, for a family out there that is thinking about, they just want to figure out how they can make a quick, easy meal to get healthier. What would you recommend?
Fastest way is what I taught my kids when they were in the 5th grade. And this is before my health journey, but I still to this day stand by this. A pound of ground beef, pound of ground beef, cook it, season it. Okay, so season it, taco seasoning, right? Whatever taco seasoning you can get. That can be your tacos if you want tortillas uh, or just some rice. Rice is a filler. And, so there for veggies with that, I would just steam broccoli. Make it easy. Broccoli is pretty cheap. If we really look at it, broccoli or cauliflower. Steam that. You got white sticky rice or Spanish rice. You got your ground beef seasoned. Well, say tomorrow there's leftovers. Well, that now can be spaghetti meat, you know, put some tomato sauce in there, re-season it, you know, right there. If you have a bag of noodles, there we go. That's what I taught my kids how to cook so that one meal ends up being two. And if you look at how much ground beef is, per pound, it could be what, $1 to $2 a pound. If I have to feed 6 people, I'll get like 2.5 pounds. Make a chili bean even with beans. And that just transfers into burritos the next day.
Hmm.
Make meals that, I mean, $25. I think I can make you guys a meal, with a veggie, protein, and a carb. And that's ground beef, rice, and broccoli.
And it's a couple, you said it's $25. And what do we spend on drive-throughs? I don't know. It's
Oh,
you probably,
jeez.
uh, we're very
Right?
picky. Yeah, we're very picky on if we go to a drive-through.
Mhm,
If we go to a drive-through, it's usually just In and Out. That's probably the only
mhm,
place we ever go.
mhm.
But we're picky, but even
Yeah.
then, I went there the other day and I got for three of us to eat. It was like $40.
Yeah.
Um, a- and so think about it. I mean, there are ways that you can't s- you know that yes, it takes a little bit of time, but when you plan
Mhm,
it out correctly, you can actually save some time because to make another meal out of that meal that you're
mhm.
cooking, and you're not driving. You're not having to get in the car, wait, and all these other things. You could be at home with your family. So when people always
Yeah.
think it's fast food, oh, that's easier, it's easier. Like, no, just make some
No.
food for your, it's easier.
Yeah, yeah. And not taking away from going through the drive-through, we're trying to avoid that, but there are some places up here, like you say, you go to In-N-Out, right?
Hmm.
Um, there's also Down Home Grill. Their
Oh yeah,
burgers are grass-fed, you
yeah.
know, and there's places you can go, but it's funny how much cheaper it is to just cook at home, right?
Hmm.
And we think
Yeah,
it's faster, but we're sitting there waiting, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, good point.
I forgot about Down Home Grill. We do go there sometimes. We'll get breakfast burritos there.
I
Um,
love
so
Down Home Grill.
But what I think is so important is that there are ways, and we have to let go of the excuses and decide
Mhm.
that we are worth it to make a better investment into our health, into our bodies. And it's so important that what we're putting into our bodies is good, good
Mhm.
nutrition and things like that. And that's kind of what you teach at your gym is you teach the
Mhm.
nutrition and then the workouts. And I think that
Yeah,
that's important. And you make it tailored to fit the whole family, which is
yeah,
why it's
we
called.
have to, you know, we have to. I just, ugh, I've been taught nutrition by others and it's been great. But I remember thinking while they were teaching me, going, oh my gosh, if it was all my kids at home, that's a lot of bougie ingredients that I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what can I do to make it a little cheaper,
Yeah.
but still get the same value? And yeah, it's it's basic protein, carb, fat, and fiber, you know. And that's the basics. What I do with my nutrition group is just giving doable recipes. I got a high school student, couple high school students. They're not going to be making these meals, so I tailor it around them and give them doable things. You've got to do this before you leave the house. Okay, you need to pack something. And
Mhm.
it's just being basic with them. They don't need all the things. I don't want to create a eating disorder. I want them to
Mhm.
look at food and know it's fine, but make
Yeah.
it work for them, you know? So,
Yeah, I think that's so important. I think that, and it helps with being balanced too in life.
yeah, yeah.
So let me see if I have any other questions that I can ask you.
Yeah.
How can someone who's new to working out, like what is the first thing that you would have them do if if they feel so overwhelmed? And what is the
Mm.
first tip that you can give them?
First thing I say is I ask them, about any injuries in the last 2 years, whatnot, any aches or pains, like right now, aches or pains. And they're like, well, my back. I go, is it an injury or is it just lack of movement? And then I ask them, how long has it been since they've been to a gym or even really been consistently moving? If they say like 3 years, 2 years, like, okay, we're going to go very slow. You're going to be stuck to me, you know? Everybody else, I will get them started. You're going to do the same workout, but you're going to be stuck to me. We're going to take it slow. I go, I need you to be able to do all of this when you're like in your 80s. So don't think I'm here to bust your balls, make you hurt, and never think just because you're achy the next day that you had a good workout the day prior. Because sometimes those aches and pains are like, there's something wrong,
Hmm.
So I just tell them that you're going to be stuck to me and I move with them. You know, Anybody can work out, but we don't want to discourage people
Hmm.
and I feel bad because I keep hearing this the fourth time I've heard that, Deborah, I like watching you, but I can't be doing that. And I'm all, girl, I had a day one and a year one and a year two, three, four, five that took me to get to this. I was just
Hmm.
asked recently, how long did it take for you to do a strict pull up? I was like, my daughter is 13. 11 years. For me. I'm not saying it's going to take 11 years for you, but it took 11 years for me not to use a band, So if that tells you anything, I have to just take you at your level and just move. And we just move, and we build up from there. So I hope that would help people.
I love what you said that it took you 11 years to do a straight pull-up
Hmm.
and without a band. Because sometimes I even myself, when I was doing like, I mean, this is like 10 plus years ago and trying to do pull-ups, I got so frustrated because I could not get it done. And I gave up on myself too soon. And look
Yeah,
it was almost 10 years ago. I could have been doing it by now or almost there because of this.
yeah, and you can. Honestly, I just got my 62-year-old, 63. Um, One of her goals last year was to do regular push-ups. And she's so feisty and funny, but she's like, Deborah, I don't want to do those push-ups. Well, part of her bench press day, the warm-up is doing, they're called perfect push-ups. They're really just you going all the way chest to the ground and then breathing in, tightening your abs, your glutes, and then just pushing up real quick. I don't do knee push-ups because that actually makes a push-up take longer to happen. And so yeah, she did it for what, 8, 9 months. Didn't realize she was doing regular push-ups until I just stood there videotaping her. And I go, hey, by the way, it's almost 2025. I just need you to check that off your list. You did 10 regular push-ups today. And you actually have been doing them. I just didn't tell you. Sorry, I forgot. She's like, oh my gosh. I go, yeah, if you don't think about it, you don't realize you're building up your strength,
Mhm.
so. But yeah, getting back to the point was, I just feel for people that think what they see I'm doing now is always been. That's why sometimes I forget to share my story. This is where I started. Size 16, pushing 18, honestly, I was pushing 18. And my excuse was, I'm Samoan, I'm supposed to be big. That's the lie. That's a lie. I have freaking rugby player family members in New Zealand, you know? And my dad grew up playing rugby. My dad was my coach. Why am I saying this? It's a lie to make us feel better. And it's such a nice reminder when I share it that some people have only known me this way. And they're like, girl, you were big. I was like, yeah, I kept my shorts just as a reminder of just, this is where it started, you know?
How many years ago was that?
Oh gosh, that was, so she's 13. I would say it's about 16, almost 17 years ago. Yeah.
So it took, it didn't happen overnight. That's the point too. It took time
Mhm.
and it took, and that's what people don't understand is they want a quick fix, but
Yes.
it's not maintainable and sustainable
Yeah.
with things like that. And it can wreak so
Mhm.
much havoc to your body and your heart and all those types of things too.
Absolutely. No, that's so true. And I did Jenny Craig twice when my husband was deployed, and I lost way more pounds off of that, but I was very lethargic. Um, and I gained it all back every single time and more. So my hormones were all over the place. And that's why I say nutrition saved me because back then I was working on 11 to 14 hours a week. I only took Sundays off. Now, once I started eating real food, my workouts became less, and now I work out maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 hours a week, maybe. I'm training for the DECA and the half marathon. I might be pushing up, maybe 8 hours. But yeah, the fitness is great, but it's the nutrition that is going to do the real work.
Yeah. I think that's so
Mhm.
important. How long have you and your husband been married?
Oh, 31 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I think 31. Oh my gosh. 1994. Oh, Lordy. Or this will be our 31st year. We've been together 31 years, married 30. So yeah, this May it'll be 31.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I love that you guys are doing this. I mean, you are like 31 years of marriage or 31 years together, and you are still, you have this business together, and he may do the back end of the office or the back end of the business. But together, no matter what, you're still doing a business together. And it's a successful business, and you're helping change people's lives, and you're helping them by not just getting fit, but being with their nutrition. It's family oriented, and I think that that's so important. So,
No, thank you. Thank you. We try hard.
I love it. One of the things I wanted to say, I mean, before we wrap up, I mean, I'm going to put your links in the show notes of the Fit Fam and how people can follow you and on Instagram and all those things. But one of the things I wanted to ask you, if you don't mind, but what is a one word or a phrase or something that somebody can take action with today as they're listening to this podcast in order for them to refine and shine?
To know that you are worthy. That was my word last year in January, and it's still my word this year in a different way. But still, you are worthy. You're worthy to. Sorry.
It's okay.
You're worthy not to feel so far gone that you can't come back with somebody to help you. You're worthy where you don't have to be in the shadows anymore. And you're worthy to feel good about yourself and feel proud. That to me is the thing, I think that whole imposter syndrome, which I never understood what it meant until someone explained it to me, and I went, oh my gosh, yeah, that creeps in when you don't feel like you are worthy enough, to be successful in whatever it is, school, your health, your fitness, your job, I just think everyone needs to realize they are worthy. They are worthy to feel good about themselves, and to not sit in the shadows anymore.
I absolutely love that. And I can see your passion behind that and what it means to you. So the thing that just struck me, that made me is when you said it doesn't matter how far you've gone. You don't have to think that it's over, because you can you can make changes.
Yes, exactly. I've been there where you just cry out to God. You're like, get me out of this bed, just being very down. And that happens to the best of us. But when you have that person come alongside you, and kind of lift you up and just help you along the way, that makes everything. Like, you're just like, oh, I was worthy enough for that person to come here. I was worthy anyway. I just didn't know myself,
Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're so busy, but I appreciate you being a guest and saying yes to the podcast. And I also appreciate you for saying yes to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel honored. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone. I appreciate you being on this podcast and listening to this podcast today.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Refine and Shine. We hope you find valuable insights and inspiration to fill your journey of continuous improvement. Remember, the key to success lies in refining your processes and letting your inner brilliance shine. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your feedback is greatly appreciated and helps us reach more listeners like you who are eager to refine and shine in all areas of life. Stay connected with us on social media for updates and additional resources and behind-the-scenes content. We love hearing from our listeners, so feel free to reach out with any suggestions, questions, or success stories you'd like to share.
As we wrap up, remember that the power to transform your life lies within you. Keep striving for growth, embracing change, and seeking opportunities to refine your skills. Together, let's continue to shine bright and make a positive impact in the world. Until next time, keep refining and keep shining.